Finally, a movie made for people like me. Wait a second. Oh, not that kind of bottom.
Your club is over.
They deserve a shot at showing everybody how fucking cool they are.
Let's go up some football players.
I want that trophy.
And today we have bottoms. Late to the party again. This is gonna sound weird to say. I tried to find like feminist clothing in my wardrobe. I found Penelope Scott tour shirt. That's, I think, up there. I brought this along. It's a signed Ashniko print from her VIP show I went to very recently. Feminism, yeah. I've almost caught up now of recent movies that I saw that came out this year that for some reason I just forgot to review or just didn't get around to it yet. But I'm catching up now, so almost there. Anyway, yeah, Bottoms. Bottoms came out this year. I saw it in my local art house theater. I think it had a regional release like in mainstream cinemas, but all of like the hipsters and art house cinema kids were going to the art house cinema to see it, so I figured that'd be where I'd go for the better experience. However, I didn't go opening weekend, which is my mistake. I went like 3-4 weeks later, so I didn't really get a very reactive crowd, but them's the breaks. You gotta plan it better if you want to be able to feed off the audience empathically. Bottoms surprised me in that I didn't know it was directed by someone who's only 28 years old. But yeah, Emma Seligman, I feel like it'd be like Seligman. She's Jewish, so she has like this and one other movie. Well, technically she has 3 things. She has a short film she did in 2017, and then she has the film that I kept hearing this name tossed around, and I saw a trailer for it recently, so I thought it came out recently, but online on IMDb it says 2020. I think she made a short film and then adapted it, and Shiva Baby is what I'm trying to say. She did Shiva Baby, which looks awkward and funny. The lead actress of that movie is now in this one, and is also showing up in even more stuff, but yeah, she's now done Bottoms, and Bottoms is her biggest film that she's done, period. 2 main stars are people that I actually know and like a lot, which is part of what brought me into wanting to see this film. Rachel Snow, I'm pretty sure that's how you say her name. I like her. I think she's actually a riot. I think she's a good actress, and I think she's hilarious. I personally discovered her, and I last covered her. I think I talked about her a bit, but Bodies, 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 which was one of my favorite films in the year that it came out. Honorable mentions, but I still loved Bodies, 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 and she was one of the leads in that. And of course, my girl, Ayo Edebiri, love her, but you'd probably also know her from The Bear, which I'm currently reacting to on this channel as well. I finished season 1, I'm working on getting around to season 2, but she's getting more and more and more roles, which is great. She's fantastic as well, deserves every bit of what she's getting. Bottoms. It was marketed in a certain way, and I was hoping it would live up to its own hype, and although it didn't live up to its own hype, it was still an enjoyable time. It's a pretty funny movie. Obviously, it's supposed to be a sexual, violent comedy. And it was in the context of like the current generation of high schoolers. But like the whole movie is literally a couple of gals that happen to be lesbians, and they are in this high school, and they're not very popular at all, but they want to get laid. Literally, the plot is we want to get laid. What should we do? Let's start a fight club to bring women in to empower them. And while we're empowering them and teaching them to fight, we might get laid in the process. And what's crazy to me is that's the plot. And very bold, and I appreciate that. While the movie might have some more wholesome moments to give you as you're watching it, I do admire the balls of just making a film about like, it's guys have made films like this all the time where it's like, oh, we want to get laid, American Pie or whatever. Now we have this where it's like, all right, trailers literally advertise it as the horniest, bloodiest movie of the year, which by the way, as good as it is, cap and cap, like no and no. It is not the horniest movie I've seen all year. I've seen way hornier, and it's not the bloodiest movie of the year. I've seen way bloodier, but I'll digress. It's pretty funny. Most of the comedy works for me personally. Some of the comedy's cringe, some of the jokes don't quite land. There's very actual clever jokes in there, and you see some of them in the trailer. Like the comedy that's actually well written and like more of a commentary on kids that are this age and society and all that, and feminism and like sexism and all that. Those jokes land well. It's the ones that are like talking about getting laid and about pussy and dicks and this, that, and the other. that like are just like, okay, yeah, I get it. Yeah, you want to be swimming in the puss, you want to flick the bean. Cool, good for you. Again, feminism, yay. But like, for me, it's the kind of comedy that doesn't. Comedy doesn't always work for me personally. It's just me. I'm the same way about dicks and fart jokes. Like, that's just how I am. The actors all do a good job. I put this as a pro as well. A lot of the characters in this film, if not all the characters, they're almost caricatures of themselves in a way. Like this whole high school they're going to, there's a lot of stuff that's ridiculous, but it's so ridiculous because it's just basically like that's how society and school is, but people are saying the quiet part out loud and taking it as the truth and gospel. Like the football players, the football team, the school's like, yeah, they're gods, they run this place, we worship them. Even the principal's like, yes, they're very important people, we love them. And just like, but they all say it very seriously. And the girl is like, oh, everybody's crazy, what a crazy world we live in. But it kind of is the world we live in. Or like how like seriously women are taken in this movie, like not very seriously. Like on the surface level, nobody takes women seriously in this movie until they start talking amongst themselves and actually like discussing things and trying to help and teach each other. And then they all, shockingly, look at that, they all actually do have their own personalities and agency, and that all comes out over the course of the film. But my point being is that on the surface level, a lot of the characters are all just kind of like, not cartoonish, but like I said, they're caricatures of themselves. So I don't want to say overacting, but they're really playing up all the archetypes and tropes of different high school kids at that age, and it works really well for the film. Although some of it's on the nose. I mean, similar to what the Barbie movie did, right? Like a lot of we're just talking about it, which I like that we're talking about it. There's good political and societal commentary throughout the whole film. Like the film has a message, in fact has several messages it wants to get across, and it does successfully. I don't know if you're going to be converting anybody, which is always kind of the truth about films like this. Like I said as a positive in the Barbie movie, like I'm glad they're bringing these things to light, pointing a finger at what already has the light shined on it in the first place, if that makes any sense. We're just talking about these things, we're joking, but there's truth behind the jokes. It's a commentary on society and lack of equality and sexism in general and all that jazz. What's funny is that I'm not going to compare it to Fight Club. Let's put that out of mind, right? But let's be pragmatic here. For a movie about like a women-ran Fight Club, there's like 10 minutes of Fight Club in this movie. That's it. Like they're like, oh, it's the bloodiest movie. No, it's not. There's some bloody scenes. Yeah, it's not the bloodiest movie I've seen this year. And same thing with the sex. There's a couple like scenes that start to get like hot and heavy, but it's pretty tame. Again, like it's just a weird angle for the marketing. But I would have liked to have seen even more into the Fight Club angle of it all and seen these women like really learn some stuff and some moves and kick some ass. They do kick some ass, especially in the third act. But for a movie called Bottoms about a fight club, I mean, there's not a whole. I mean, there's bottom energy for sure, but not so much in the sexual respect. And then there's Fight Club, yeah, but like, I don't know, I would have liked more of the Fight Club, funny enough. I would love to have seen more of that play into the film, but just like what these gals use it for, it is just a facade for a true hidden meaning underneath. As much as I like her as an actor, Rachel Sennow's character, didn't like her. I don't think she's a good person. She has a character arc by the end of it, but like, she was funny occasionally, but I don't think she was a good person. Like, not really like a good character. Just, I don't know. I thought it was kind of funny how they tried to redeem it by the end, but I don't think it was a very earned redemption arc. Like, she's no Prince Zuko, if you know what I'm saying. Honestly, I think I've touched on all the main points. Yeah. Bottoms is not a bad movie, don't get me wrong. Like, critics adore this movie, and for the most part, people out there, just like your average Joe Schmo, like, most people really enjoyed it as well. I enjoyed the film. It wasn't what I expected. I was just a little bit disappointed. I was just a little bit let down, but it was still fun. It was more funny than not throughout the film, It was well acted. It was a fun time, an interesting story. I enjoyed my time watching it. I feel like maybe if I saw it with a packed house on opening weekend night or something like that, I might have a different tale to tell here. But as far as it goes, I mean, it wasn't what I wanted it to be, but it was still a fun time. It's still worth a watch. If you want to catch it in theaters, I'm pretty sure it's gone by now, but stream it. It's definitely worth a watch. Definitely worth streaming it with, date night or with some friends. It's a good movie. It's a good movie overall. I would love to see Miss Seligman, or Seligman, maybe the G is silent. I would love to see more of what she could do, because there's, at its core here, this is a well-made and good film, and bravo, and they are clearly all friends, and they clearly had a blast making this. So yeah, I'm gonna change my review mid-review. It's only fair. This film does more well than it does poorly, so I would give Bottoms a high 3 out of 5. I give Bottoms a high 3 out of 5 for sure. Above average as far as films like this go. Could have been a hell of a lot worse. I wanted it to be better, but as it stands, you know, it's better than most out there, so above average. That's all I gotta say about Bottoms. Thank you guys and gals so much for watching. I hope I was able to get across what I wanted to say and not come off in the wrong context or light, but if I did, it is what it is. Thank you as always so much for watching. Stay tuned for the next episode of whatever movie I review next. And goodbye, travelers.